Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rafegal, and this is hopefully the end of Metroid. I'm not worried about most of this section. All we've got left at this point is Tourian, which is a really short section. Basically, the only thing I'm worried about from the free research I did was there's a couple little hallways that are really tight, and I think if we can get past that, I may actually just try and be patient on that section instead of, like, my intention for most of this is going to be avoid everything. It seems like that's the way to go. Like, you can sit there and kill Metroids, but Metroids take like 5 missile shots apiece. And if they come at more than one at a time, stopping to shoot them is a luxury. So I think for the most part, we're going to be trying to avoid them. Freeze and run. There's a possibility with that one section at the very end. It's like one of the last hallways. There's a lot of really tight areas there, and I may try and just take that section one at a time and actually kill things if it's not convenient to keep things frozen. Mother Brain herself only takes like 30 missiles, but there's a lot of other missile requirements leading up to her. Namely, there's a couple missile doors that take 10 shots. There's a series of like these weird barriers in her chamber that take 8 shots each and can regenerate if you don't kill them fast enough. Okay. So there's our first Metroid. Okay. That's kind of what I was talking about of. So we're avoiding them if we can. If we get into a situation where we're actually in trouble like that, I would much rather take the time to make sure that we've got a path instead of trying to rush and risking getting killed. Ugh. Okay, so this is the first section with these really tight hallways. For the most part, it's just going to be these Rinkas. The problem is... Oh my god. That positioning is terrible. I mean, I suppose the good news is I'm getting health off these Metroids, which the health drops here are worth 30 instead of the 5 or 20 that I'd been getting on some of the other ones. Okay, one hallway left. So this is the one I was talking about. I just want to make sure. Okay, you gotta get those ones off the screen. I'm gonna take this slow. I'm gonna see if I can just spawn one of the... This little section right here is the one that I was talking about, mostly. Okay. So, that is the last Metroids we're gonna run into. This is Mother Brain's chamber. Let's do this. Oof. So these are the barriers I was talking about. They take 8 shots to kill. If you just shoot them and they don't get interrupted at all. Ugh. We are getting wrecked. Apparently, I need to be more patient. I'm gonna be really upset if we end up having to redo this section at this point. I think we got it. Okay, so all we've got left is the escape. This is when that stuff I was talking about with different jump types really comes into play. We want to mostly do high jumps when possible here, except when we need to do these little sections to get around another block. It may seem like I'm going slow considering there's a timer. But it's real easy in these sections to fall down and have to redo a section, and we don't want that. Okay, and that is Metroid. We've fulfilled our mission and will revive peace in space. But it may be invaded by other Metroid. Pray for true peace in space. Okay. That's an interesting translation. Apparently I still beat it fast enough to get have Samus take her suit off there. So that was Metroid. Like I said, I remember it being a lot longer. And while I was commenting on how it felt like, so through most of it, it felt like I had more than enough missiles and more than enough health. I almost died at the end, so I'd say, and part of that's because I got a little greedy, but I'd say overall, it balances out where if you take your time, get a few extra little things, and don't rush too much at the end. Like, I probably got a little greedy at that on the Mother Brain fight, and if I had just stood back a little bit instead of getting right up in her face, it may have taken a few more minutes, but it would have been a little bit safer. We didn't 100% it by any means. I mean, we didn't... There are 2 kind of long hallways in Norfair we didn't do. A couple things in Ridley's hideout we didn't do. Decent chunk of Kraid's hideout that we skipped because there were either no items or just a couple missile packs there. But we played most of the game, and in just a few hours. It's a quick little run. Definitely recommend picking up a map if you're playing it for the first time, especially. I found this nifty map by Falcon Zero. If you Google that, I'm sure you could find it. It's really handy for just knowing roughly where items are and stuff. With that said, this is still one of my favorite types of games in general. This one, despite, you know, being kind of the forerunner of this genre, is surprisingly not gated. And what I mean by that is there's not a lot of items in this game that are actually required to beat the game. So when we think of a Metroidvania, most of the process for it is this big open world that is gated off either by movement types or some sort of powers or keys that will unlock the next section of the game. You know, you get the rooster uppercut and you can now jump a little bit higher or go through these red blocks in Guacamelee. You get the double jump in Hollow Knight, the Moth Cape or whatever it is, and you can now make that jump that you couldn't make before to get to the next section. You know, the Crystal Dash, where you can, you know, now cross this giant pit that you couldn't before. This game doesn't have that, which really surprises me when I stop and think about it. Like, there's not a lot of sections that actually require the ice beam. There's not a lot of sections that actually, like, bombs are the only thing I can think of that are really, really required to progress. There are a few spots that require the high jump, but it's always just to get another item. Like the Varia and the, I think it was the Varia and the Screw Attack require the high jump. There's a lot that requires bombs and the Morph Ball. Kraid's hideout doesn't actually even have any upgrades. You're just there to beat Kraid. Ridley's hideout technically doesn't either, but you have to go through Norfair to get to Ridley's hideout, and Norfair's like where all the items are. So yeah, it's kind of a weird juxtaposition where, I mean, when you actually see people play this game, the like I said, the speed runs, when you can actually like wall clip through stuff, you don't actually need any items for the most part. You need enough missiles to beat Kraid and Ridley, and once you beat one of them, you get enough missiles to beat the other. And you might get like bombs and ice beam as a safety, and Varia. Technically, you don't even need high jump. And I say that in that you can, there are ways to get like Varia and stuff without high jump. You technically need it as intended. But using like you can get one of the waivers to like follow you up through that hole and then freeze it, or bomb jump. So yeah, this was Metroid. I hope you enjoyed. Um, Metroid is a series that I haven't played a ton of. I enjoy the genre, obviously. I enjoy the games, but I've only played through the Metroid games like maybe like actually played through them like once or twice each at most. Um, I played them a lot, but I've never played all the way through them. So this is really fun for me to try. This is something a little different, and it's not like I don't like them. It's just something that's always been intimidating, I guess, in a way. So we will be playing more Metroid games. Um, I think there's some remakes floating out there of 1 and 2. So I may see if there's a remake of 2 rather than playing the original Game Boy version. Um, there's Super Metroid, obviously, will be on the list. And Fusion is one of my favorites. I think there's a few other GBA ones that I might take a look at. Um, so yeah, Metroid is on the menu. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And as always, have a good one.